Hi, everyone. On today's day, Sunday, April 13, 2025, we continue on with the talk of the Platform Sutra on the chapter of the doubt. So, last time we ended here talking about the challenge of emptiness. To understand emptiness is difficult, but it is also wonderful. Many people fear emptiness because they misunderstand it. But we need to know that emptiness is not the so-called nothingness. It's the freedom and potential for all things. So, our teacher, Master Sheng Yen, shared a story. He said when he was in the States and leading a 7-day intensive retreat, there was a professor who joined him for the retreat. And in the beginning of the few days, he felt great. And his mind became increasingly calm and peaceful. But then he started to feel fear. He came to our teacher and said, "Master, I feel like I'm about to experience emptiness." Then our teacher said, "That's wonderful. You should be happy." But he said, "No, it's terrifying." And then our teacher asked him, "What are you afraid of?" And then he said, "Right now, I have a girlfriend, I have a home, and I have students. I'm about to get married soon. If everything becomes empty, who will get married? If everything becomes empty, will I still have my job?" So our teacher responded, "Do you think I, as a Chan teacher, have already realized emptiness?" And the professor said, "Yes, you must have. Otherwise, you won't be qualified to teach us." And our teacher continued saying, "Do you think I still eat food?" He said, "Yes, Master, you eat." "Do I still do things?" "Yes, you do." So our teacher told him, "Someone who realizes emptiness doesn't stop eating, doesn't abandon life, and doesn't throw everything away. Realizing emptiness means putting down all psychological burdens and pressures, not being bound by anything, yet still participate actively in life. True emptiness is about flowing with conditions, adapting to each moment with ease and freedom. That's the real experience of Chan. That's the true realization of emptiness. And our teacher explained further. After awakening, Chan master don't commit suicide or escape from the world. Instead, they engage even more actively in teaching and helping others. So there was a story that shared about a Chan master, and our teachers told the professor, well, among ones as Chan master Chao San Benji, Master, how do you teach and guide sentient beings? The Chan master replied with 2 sentences. When there is a horse, ride the horse. When there is no horse, walk. So, do you understand the meaning? If there's a horse, ride it. If not, walk. This is true freedom and ease. He did not insist on always riding a horse or walking only. Well, in modern terms, we could say, if there's a cow, use a cow. If not, use a horse. It sounds like something an enlightened Chan master would say, but it's actually a common saying. This kind of everyday wisdom reflects non-attachment. So if you stubbornly insist, if there's no cow, I won't do anything, you will only cause yourself suffering. So the essence of emptiness is non-attachment and non-insistence. It is not about insisting on something, nor about refusing something. This concept of emptiness is very practical and useful for everyday life. So, do you understand now what emptiness means? Well, learn it well. It can help you greatly in your life. Next is the translation of another 2 phrases. Inwardly and outwardly, there is bright penetration. This is no different from the West. So now the West here referring to Western Pure Land. So in Pure Land practice, those who follow Amitabha Buddha believe that the Western Pure Land, or we call it Sukhavati, is where Amitabha Buddha resides, and that we must be born there to be saved and attain liberation. Many believe that the Eastern world offers little hope, and thus Everyone makes vows to be reborn in the Western Pure Land. According to the Amitabha Buddha, this belief is true. It's challenging to attain liberation in the Saha world, referring to our world, due to the many temptations that lead us astray. However, the Western Pure Land has none of these temptations. It's a pure and serene place where there is no opportunity for evil deeds. There is no arguing, stealing, or harmful behavior, and there are no male and female distinctions. So there's no possibility of wrongful sexual conduct. But from the perspective of the Platform Sutra, the Pure Land is not a physical place. Instead, it's about achieving inner purity of mind, body, and speech. And this concept is not something invented by Master Huineng. In the Vimalakirti Sutra, it's said, when the mind is pure, the land is also pure. If our mind is pure, the world we perceive will also be pure. So the question is that, does this create a contradiction between these two approaches? One encouraging us to seek the Western Pure Land as the true Pure Land, while the other says we can experience the Pure Land here and now. Is there a conflict between these two teachings? It seems like there might be a contradiction. Now, in our organization, the Dharma Drum Mountain organization, we have Amitabha recitation sessions and practice Pure Land Buddhism by chanting Amitabha's name. We also conduct 7-day Amitabha retreat. Now, on the other hand, we have Chan intensive retreat, teaching people to practice Chan, to meditate, and cultivate mindfulness. Some people participate in the Pure Land retreat on one day and join the Chan meditation the other day. So does this seem contradictory to us? Well, it might appear contradictory, but many of our practitioners participate in both Chan retreat and Pure Land practices. However, they don't feel conflicted because our guidance explains how these two paths can complement each other. So the Western Pure Land is Amitabha Buddha's land. a place we can aspire to go if we lack the time or strength to fully purify our body and mind in this lifetime. It's a reliable path to liberation. But while we are still in this life, we should work hard to illuminate our inner nature and achieve clarity in and out. The clearer and purer our mind is, the fewer afflictions we will have. So the better we cultivate ourselves in this life, the higher and larger the lotus flower that awaits us in the Pure Land. In the Western Pure Land, there are 9 levels of rebirth, and each level contains sub-levels with significant differences in the quality of life. The higher our cultivation here, the higher our lotus grade in the Pure Land. So if we can reach a state of inner and outer clarity in this world, then even before we pass away, we are already living in the Pure Land. So there are 2 goals on our organization. One is improving the quality of people's lives. 2, building the Pure Land on earth. So we started by creating the Pure Land here in the human world. If we succeed, it may not even be necessary to seek the Western Pure Land. But if we choose to go, it will be easy for us to be reborn there. So, what does this inner and outer clarity mean? Well, inner refers to our inner mind, while outer refers to our external environment. Ordinary people can feel peaceful and free from afflictions when meditating or when alone. But once they interact with others, problems arise. The clarity in their mind vanishes, and all they see is darkness and trouble. So some might say, I'm fine. Is the world that is impure? I don't have vexations. Other people bring me vexations. But that is not inner and outer clarity. If you truly achieve inner and outer clarity, your mind will be pure, and everything you see externally will also be pure. You will see everyone as a virtuous friend in the Pure Land, with no enemies or adversaries. Well, still, some might question, does achieving this state mean ignoring reality, seeing no good, bad, right, or wrong? Well, there are questions that someone asked during a lecture in New York. They asked our teacher, if compassion is unconditional and non-discriminatory, how should we treat a murderer? So our teacher asked him, are you asking me to handle it, or should we leave it to the courts? And the person said, let's say you handle it. Then our teacher replied, I would tell the murderer to repent and vow never to kill again. Then the person asked again, is that enough? And our teacher said, that's all I can do. I uphold the precepts against killing, so I can't kill him. I don't have a prison to lock him up either. All I can do is advise him. You have done something wrong. Killing is not acceptable. You must repent and vow never to kill again. And he asked again, but is that really enough? And our teacher said, for me, yes. If he truly repents and never kills again, isn't that a good outcome? And then he continued on saying that. But that's too easy on the murderer. And our teacher said, nothing in life is truly easy. We don't know what caused him to kill. And even if we don't punish him now, the law of cause and effect will catch up with him. His karma will naturally manifest in the future. If he can stop killing from now on, that's already a significant change. But the person was not satisfied. So he continued to ask another question. What about people who kill, regret it, then killed again, regret it, and then killed again? How would you handle such a person? And our teacher said, the most I can do is say, when you feel the urge to kill next time, come kill me. Don't kill anyone else. If you really want to kill someone, come for me. And then the person asked, what if he kills you and then goes on to kill others? What would you do then? I said, that's why the law exists. The law should take care of him. Well, actually, it was at that time, there happened to be a case in which a fugitive had killed someone. The police shot him and captured him. After being captured, he was sent to the hospital for treatment. Therefore, the person asked a teacher, is that right? He killed someone, so he should be executed immediately. Well, then our teacher explained, according to the law, yes, he committed murder, and the law will handle it accordingly. But until the trial, the doctors have a responsibility to treat him and make him healthy again. Once he recovers, it's up to the law to decide his fate. A doctor treats patients, not criminals. The doctor's role is to save lives, not pass judgment. And our teacher continues saying that in Buddhism, we aim to treat the disease of harmful behavior, not to punish the person. The law exists as a shared system in society, but it is not always consistent. In some places, murder is punishable by death, while in others, there's no death penalty. I can't control the law. I can only focus on what a doctor's responsibility is and what my responsibilities in Buddhism is. Beyond that, how the law handles it is out of my hand. So the so-called inner and outer clarity doesn't mean changing the entire external environment to match our expectations. Instead, it means looking at the external world without anger, hatred, or attachment. We should not approach external situations with greed, hatred, or other afflictive emotions. When we stop viewing the external world through these negative emotions, the world becomes clear and bright. Not because everything outside has changed for the better, but because our perspective has changed. If we insist that everything in the external environment must become perfect before we can awaken, we will never achieve awakening. So, for an awakened person, the external world and the inner world are the same. This is a subjective experience that brings great peace and happiness. So, did you understand the difference between inner and outer clarity and the concept of Western and Eastern Pure Land? Should we rush to leave this world and seek the Western Pure Land? Well, no. First, we should build a Pure Land here in the human world. Inner and outer clarity starts with inner clarity. When your mind is clear, it doesn't matter whether the external environment is perfect. What matters is that your mind is unaffected. That's true clarity. Well, let me give you an example. When we are here in Dharma Retreat Center, this upstate New York, our teacher master was sweeping, using a broom, sweeping leaves in the front door of our main building. And it was in the autumn because a lot of leaves falls in the autumn. Now, so what I did was that I took a picture of him. He was having a broom with him and standing in front of our reception area, reception hall. It looks so beautiful. But from a typical person's point of view, leaves should be clean. But from a photographer's or an artist's perspective, it's a beautiful scene, an excellent pattern worth capturing. Probably you have a similar experience, right? Now, if you have, then don't throw away the trash of leaves into your garbage bin yet. Look at it from a different angle. You might see it as a piece of art. If you see it as trash, of course, you want to clean it because it is unhygienic and unpleasant. But if you can see beauty in the chaos, you might be able to appreciate it. So ultimately, this is a subjective mental reaction. Whether something is beautiful or unpleasant depends on how you perceive it. So during a 7-day Chan retreat in New York, one of the lay practitioners was assigned to clean the bathroom. What happened next was quite interesting. He took a fruit knife from the dining table into the bathroom and used it to scrape off all the dirt and grime from the floor, the sink, and even the toilet, cleaning everything meticulously with the fruit knife. Afterward, he put the fruit knife back on the dining table without anyone knowing. At the end of the retreat, during the sharing sessions, he proudly said, "I did something I'm most profound, I'm most proud of during the retreat." That's what happened. So in the Chan records, the stories of Chan masters often depict them as eccentric or acting in seemingly crazy ways. If true liberation and awakening made everyone act like they were insane, then Buddhism would be nothing more than a lunatic asylum, not a place of spiritual cultivation. Such experiences are temporary phenomena for some individuals, when they first experience a profound insight, in their initial state of realization, the boundaries between clean and unclean, between the bathroom and the dining table disappear. To them, everything feels the same. Nothing is unacceptable. However, after the experience passes, they return to a calm and stable state. They become fully aware of the distinction again. They see things as they truly are and respond appropriately. A fully awakened Chan master is a completely normal person, someone who interacts with the world objectively and appropriately. They won't use a fruit knife to clean the toilet. If everyone behaved like that, it would be more like a psychiatric hospital than a place of practice. And even a psychiatric hospital won't behave in that way. So now in our Nongchan monastery in Taiwan, you will see two lines with big lines that written on the gate. Without abiding, the mind manifests. What does responding without attachment means? It means not clinging to fixed ideas or having rigid, subjective judgments about what must be or must not be. It means not holding on to personal opinions about value or identity. Now, give rise to mind means to respond to what is needed based on the objective situation. If the situation requires me to be something, I become that. If the situation requires me to do something, I do that. If I am capable of doing something, I do it. If I'm not able to do something, I don't force it. So, do you understand what that means? Give rise to the mind means to adapt to the needs of the environment and the people around us. If help is needed, help is given. If teaching is required, teaching is offered. If there's something I can do, I will do it. So this is the way of the Bodhisattva. A Bodhisattva does not act for self-interest. A Bodhisattva responds to the needs of sentient beings, offering help at the right time and in the right place, without selfish motivation. The Bodhisattva exists for others, adapting to situations to provide appropriate guidance and support, always seeking to benefit sentient beings. So I will stop here.
Wow,